welcome to Kidmissing TV. It is Friday. I have decided that I am going to do things a little bit differently. Instead of doing all my updates once a month, I think I'm going to do my updates as they happen, so that first of all, they're still relevant. And sometimes there aren't any at the end of the month, and then I end up stressing, what am I going to do for my updates video? And it's easier to just do them than to have to hold on to them, and everybody else has already done them, you know? So, instead of a doe today, we're going to do an identified doe. Excuse me. About to sneeze. Okay. DNA testing has identified the Lorton, Virginia, or Fairfax County baby doe. We did this case, and I will have it in the cards up here. Up here somewhere. He has been identified as 4-year-old Carl Matthew Bryant. His body was found under a bridge by a boy riding his bicycle on June 13th, 1972 in Lorton, Fairfax County, Virginia. He died of blunt force trauma, homicide. Oops. His DNA was used to do genetic genealogy, and they were able to identify him as the daughter of Vera Bryant. In 1972, in June, Vera and her boyfriend James Hedgepeth, who had been a convicted murderer, were traveling from Philadelphia to Hedgepeth's relatives in Virginia with Carl and his 6-month-old brother. When they arrived, they did not have children with them, and when they went back to Philadelphia, her family said, "Where the heck are the kids?" And they said they're with his family. Vera died in 1980. Once they did the genealogy, her body, was exhumed for DNA testing, and she was his mother. The boyfriend has also passed away. Police are now looking for his little brother, James, who was just months old. Like 6 months old. If even that. younger than that, who they believe was also killed. There won't be any justice here for this child. I'm going to quote Detective Melissa Wallace. Well, first, I'm going to quote Detective Davis. The county police chief. Chief Davis said, "You still knock on doors, you still talk to family members, you still talk to potential witnesses." He continued, speaking of the power of genetic genealogy, which allows police departments to, quote, bring closure far, far more often than we ever have, end quote. And Detective Melissa Wallace said, quote, "To see the extent of that boy's injuries and what he had suffered through, I'm happy to be here today announcing that at least we've identified him." She continued, "He can have his name, we can get him his name back on his gravestone, and the family can have some semblance of closure or resolution, because they're both deceased." What they want, and what they have said at the press conference, is they want anyone who, because Hedgepeth only died a few years ago, anyone who talked to him, anyone who hung around with him, who he might have said something to, because they're still looking for James. And I'm sure they'll go back through, baby knows in 4 states, but and they have a pretty good idea of the route from Philadelphia to Virginia, or this way. This way, south, not north, that they took, so they know what states to look in. And if you knew either party, if you talked to them, if they said something to you about their trip, anything, they ask you to call the Major Crimes Bureau, 703-246-7800. That's 703-246-7800, and use option 2. That's option 2. Now, about putting his name on his gravestone. They don't know exactly where he's buried. They had kept hair from the old crime, and that's how they got the DNA. First, all they got was mitochondrial, but they worked hard, and they got the DNA. Nuclear DNA. Excuse me. Allergy season. They can't find him. They know approximately where he was buried in the cemetery because the town got together and buried him. So in the approximate area, they're putting a bench with his name on it. A place where remaining family can come, sit, visit, other people who cared, like you and me if we wanted to, that sort of a thing. Because they don't know exactly where the grave is. They have an idea, but unfortunately, he was buried 50 years ago by the kindness of a church. Excuse me. In an old cemetery. They don't want to be digging up the whole old cemetery, that whole area, looking for him. So it's a company out of California called Astria. Or Astria, that did the genetic genealogy work, the forensics. on the DNA. So, we need to find James Bryant. Now, keep in mind, Hedgepeth was not the father of either child. We do not have a picture of James. In fact, we don't have a picture of either child. So, hopefully, there's a dad out there, or less likely a grandparent, because it's been 50 years, 50 plus years. But you know, an aunt, an uncle, somebody that might have a picture of both boys. And hopefully, if the dad is still alive, which he could be. Maybe maybe he has one. Which I think police are also seeking pictures, because all they have is the reconstruction. And with the damage done to him, the reconstruction is iffy. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you're okay with me doing it this way. Just coming in when there is an update and doing a video rather than holding all the updates till the end of the month. I think it makes more sense. Please let me know what you think. I know I have an audience that will let me know. We are so close to 500, guys. So close. So please, if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you on Monday. For regularly scheduled programming. The case I had scheduled for today, I'll just flip over to next month. Bye, guys. God bless you.